What is going on, everybody? Thank you for tuning in to another edition of On the Road to Victory. I'm your host, Jimmy Smith, and I hope you're all having yourselves a great weekend. We are here, and we're ready for that 53-man roster projection. Now, I told you last night I had this done. You've seen me talk about all of these things the last few days. You know where my head's at, but I'm going to give it to you all right now, baby. You're getting that 53-man roster projection by position. You can see who we got. At the end, I'll give you the full position count. You know how many we have at each. If you weren't keeping count, then you'll get to see who I got be placed on the IR, who we got as a vested vet being signed back after their cut, practice squad members, and then, of course, you'll get that depth chart with all of that information added in there. So, ladies and gentlemen, strap on in because it's time to talk some birds. It's all you sickos in here, and I can feel it. It's sicko season, baby, and it's about to end because – well, we got 15 days until game one. So the Eagles got, until Tuesday, 4 o'clock to cut all of these people. We've already made a few cuts. No surprises here. Tyree Jackson, Dan Arnold, Tyrese Robinson, and Ian Book. All guys, you heard me say there's no way in hell they're making this roster. Big shout out to all of you guys. I see a lot of people upset in the comments on a lot of my posts. I don't know what I'm talking about. Tyree Jackson's the tight end one. Cam Jurgens should play tight end. I don't know where you guys are getting this stuff. I don't. But I'm going to give you all you need to know right now. Oh, Lord, it's been tough times during this sicko season. But let's go. I need to. We're all craving our Eagles, right? And the one thing about this is, you just see all these new fans coming in now that the Eagles, made it to the Super Bowl. And they're all experts, right? Oh, let me tell you about. And it's like, look, man, just go back to not being a fan because we're ready to ride in these parts. We're ready to win that Super Bowl. So let's effing go. My man Kavai, though, appreciate you tuning in. And the same for you, Chip. Chip, you were actually part of that conversation with that person who was saying, about Jurgens and how I don't know anything. And you'll see once Tyree Jackson makes the squad. I'm going to be real with you. Tyree Jackson just got cut. So how you like them apples? Holy Lord, people are just upset. And I can't do anything for them except try to educate and get them excited. But it is what it is. Yo, man, hope you're doing all right. Hate to hear that. My ankle, not so sure it's fully healed. Definitely still jacked. But today, I will not have it any other way. This room is getting torn apart. The downside, everything's getting done. Tomorrow, I'm going to tough it out, try to mow that lawn. We're going to see how this bad boy holds up. But, dude, we're here right now. It's time to talk some birds. And as I said, they started making cuts. I'm like, son of a bitch. So just want to get this out here. I had this already done. I don't have to change anything because those guys are already off my roster. So I've seen a bunch of the experts saying that their projected 53 is already over. Who in God's name out of those 4 people cut did they have making this roster? That's all I want to know. That's pretty weird. But no doubt, my man Unspoken, I appreciate you tuning in, man. Glad to hear that you're enjoying them. Doing my best through this sicko season to get you all through. Getting myself through as well, and we're almost effing there. The world is in for some tough times. Twisted, my dude, let's go. K-Bomb, baby, all right. This party is started. Let's go. Yo, enjoy your day at work. And all of you, I know it's pure chaos, so if you're watching this later, feel free to chime in. If you can't watch it live, I'd love to hear your thoughts on this. We've got plenty of information here for you, so if you get back here, you'll know. But sicko season is not over. Us sickos are right here, man. I know a lot of people are clocking out. They don't care about stuff. That's not me, man. Sicko season will go all the way until 15 days from now when the games begin. So, no, Kayvon, it may be over for you, but not for us sickos. We truly love our birds, and this will never end, guys. I will do this every day. You guys know all the videos from the hospital. I don't give a shit where I'm at. Nothing's stopping this train. Let's effing go. Yo, my man, let's effing go, birds. And hope you have a great day at work, my man. This will be done here in the next 20 minutes. So going to try to give you all this information. William, my dude, appreciate you, my man. This is an effing party in here. Let's get it effing started. Let's go. We're going to start off with the quarterbacks. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to show you what I had last week. So you're going to see who I had as roster locks, who was on the bubble, and then the next screen will be who I have making the roster. So let me show you. So we'll start it off with the quarterbacks. There were 4 guys competing. Now, clearly, Ian Book was just released. He is not going to make it. But this being one of the most important positions here that people are talking about, will Tanner McKee take the job from Mariota? Will this, that, the other thing? Well, I've got Tanner McKee not making the active roster. So Eagles rolling with 2 quarterbacks. And, now that the 49ers made that new rule where, you can have a practice squad quarterback dressed for game day, a third quarterback, there is no reason for the Eagles to keep a third quarterback. The Eagles didn't keep a third quarterback last year. You guys remember when the media and fans, Reed Sedette, he's the best quarterback ever. He needs to start over Hurts. Yeah, he didn't make the roster either. And yeah, so I don't care what the media says. To me, we're rolling with 2. McKee on that practice squad, hopefully, and we ride there. You got to, at one point, look at all of the positions and who are you willing to, go through waivers here. And I'll be honest with you, I changed this last night. I had McKee making it, and I don't know, man. I think that people get carried away with the preseason stuff. And look, he's a good quarterback. I like the kid. I hope he makes it to the practice squad, but I do not have him on the active roster. Now to the running backs. Look, I had these 4 guys locked in. Sermon trying to fight for that 5th job. Kennedy Brooks, yeah, not going to happen. But to me, I think those 4 proved why they are going to be one of the best in the league. The PFF, NFL, everybody, ESPN saying that this running back corp is going to be one of the worst in the league, that they need to trade for Jonathan Taylor. Man, are they in for a brutal surprise once this team starts destroying souls. So I've got 4 running backs locked in here, and my God, do I love that room. Let people sleep. I don't care. They slept on Jalen Hurts. It's because they don't know much about football. So with this tandem here, you're going to see dominance, the best offensive line in the game. Talked about what DeAndre Swift's going to add to this passing attack. Rashad Penny taking a little bit of the load off Jalen Hurts, quarterback sneaks. Maybe get Penny back there for kick returns instead of Boston Scott. But, Scott, the jack of all trades, I think he just helps you in a plethora of ways. So I've got him making this roster. Now, wide receiver, here's where things get a little bit tricky for you. So I've told you this since before training camp started. The Eagles could ride with just the top 4. The 4 I had locked in. The guys in green are the locks. The ones in white are the bubble if you don't see the key there up at the top. But, to me it was, is there going to be a 5th guy? I think Covey, he provides return capability, so you want to keep him around. But nobody else showed anything where it was like, oh, yeah, you got to make this active roster. I know, the media got carried away with that fumbled kick return that Devin Allen had, but, he hadn't done it in 10 years. He's never punt returned. So I don't think that, I'm hopeful he's on the practice squad, but definitely not making the active roster. But here is something I try to explain. So let's take a look. I have 5 making the roster. That's right. I went against my 4 here. And you'll understand why as I explain it, but I'll show you the depth chart at the end. You'll see what I mean. But Britton Covey here, he's been banged up for most of training camp. He's got a hamstring issue. So for me, what I think the Eagles, could possibly do, we talk about this with guys that are banged up. Maybe Quez is really hurt or something. You can always place these guys on the IR. So I just think that, if you have to have someone, they have to be on the active roster before they can go, to the IR. So you just, you really have to, if it's the short-term one, you have 4 games since he was on the IR. So you have that a little bit of time here that if you have other younger guys you want to keep around, that's fine. So we talk about vested veterans here. There's going to be guys that have played longer than 4 years. That means when they're cut, they don't have to go through waivers. So they can sign with whoever they want. Someone can't just claim them and put them on their active roster. So keep that in mind as we go through this. Britton Covey, one of my candidates to be slapped on at that old IR. Now at tight end, we've talked about this over and over again. And I think this may be where the media got caught up. I don't know if they thought Dan Arnold or Tyree Jackson was making the roster. I'm not sure, but I've seen a lot of people saying their 53-man rosters are done already. And, that's pretty weird to me. So, look, I think that, hey, where the hell did it go? So apparently I deleted this or something. I'm not seeing my tight end graphic. So, I'll be honest with you. This is probably just, a case of good old Canva always doing this stuff to me whenever, or StreamYard, whenever I try to put this stuff in, it sometimes deletes stuff when it's already in. So my apologies, but you can see the 3 I have as locks. Those are the 3 that I have making this roster. What the shit, man? I'm kind of pissed off here. So, hey, it is what it is. But dude, I'm going to seriously get pissed here. So let me see here for a second if I can find this picture, because that is honestly bothering me. Like, did I not make this picture? Am I just tripping here? Or, well, that's always a possibility. Let's be real here, ladies and gentlemen. But now here it is, right in my damn phone. I literally plugged it in there. So yeah, we're going to get real cool with this one. We're going to go old school here, and you're just going to have to look at the screen. So those are my three. Goddard, Stoll, Calcaterra. I have no idea why it is not showing up here, but no doubt. But that's the three for me. No surprise. I'm actually surprised that people are surprised. And Chip in the chat here, you know, I was getting haggled by some dude who, Darby Jackson. Apparently I'm stupid because I said he wouldn't make the roster. Whoops. So let's get into that offensive line here. And so I broke it up with tackles and interior line throughout this training camp to show you guys. And I talked about the versatility of a lot of these guys. Brett Toth is playing guard, playing some center. He can do it all. So that versatility really helps. Dennis Kelly, the veteran, brought in. And look, Driscoll to me is a lock. He can help you as tackle, a guard. He's the swing tackle. I love Jack Driscoll. So pumped about that. And then the interior guys. We talked about, did we need to keep more than Steen and Sills back there as depth? And to me, now those other guys were locks, and Fred Johnson got added in. So clearly that photo was when he was gone there. But I think, obviously signing him to a 2-year deal, to me, that's very telling. So here you are, the projected 53-man roster. Here are the offensive linemen. I've got 9 of them. So you've got your 5 starters. Then you've got Steen. If anything were to happen at center, you have Juergens slide over to center. Steen steps in at right guard. Anything happens at either of the tackle positions, you've got Driscoll, you've got Steen, you've got Fred Johnson. Hell, even Josh Sills can play a little tackle. Anything happens to the guards, well, Tyler Steen can step in at right guard. Driscoll can play guard. Sills can play guard. Fred Johnson has dabbled. So you've got versatility across the board, depth everywhere. And if anything happens, you have a guy that could step in and I would feel comfortable about. So loving the depth, loving the offensive line here. But that's the offense for you, ladies and gentlemen. And I know some people are going to feel a certain way about McKee, and that's fine. I got a lot of hate for the Reed Sinnett stuff. And look, if he makes the roster, good. I'm happy for him. But there are way too many other pieces that I found way too valuable for the future of this team. And I know a lot of people just want, this dude because they want Hurts to fail, and they think this dude's going to take over. That's not going to happen. Jalen Hurts is the quarterback here. And Mariota, look, he's the veteran guy they want to be the backup. So to me, it's pretty clear. But he could definitely make this roster. That was one I was very, very torn about. So we shall see. And 15 more days. Let's go, man. Glad to see you're back in. We ain't going anywhere, man. This is a daily occurrence. We get excited about our birds always, my man. And, hey, man, we talked about this from day one. This was going to be impossible. I heard people saying this team needed depth. We needed edge rushers, running back, all this. I was just thinking to myself, what are they smoking? Because they need to pass that shit. Because what? Lots of depth, a lot of stuff. So, you never know. Just like with Reed Sinnett last year, when people said that, he cleared waivers and so, hey, you never know. We'll see. But, either way, I don't care. I feel good about it. And I'm sure there's probably some, Dick McDrifterson, off of some roster that they're going to, let's claim him as the practice squad quarterback if he were to leave. So they always have plans in place, and he could definitely make the active roster. Don't get me wrong. We'll find out. Don't think Sills makes the team. No doubt. Glad you saved spots for a defense. Oh, hell yeah. Wait till you see this bad boy. You're going to be blown away. I can promise you probably no one in the world will have projected depth chart like me or roster or anything like that, because I put a lot of thought into it and how Howie Roseman works. So just like with the draft, just like with free agency, I look at it from his lens, and that's how I'm able to be spot on with a lot of stuff. Now, these projected rosters and stuff, now I'm not going to be dead on. I'm going to be real with you. These are always tricky as hell. I know I get really damn close all the time, but look, with Reed Sinnett last year, we talked about that. You got to be able to see the whole thing for what it is, the joint practices, everything, not just these people watch a preseason game or they see a highlight and, this guy has to make the roster. It's like, okay, do this every year, but I'm here to help. So let's effing go, my man Lil in here. Appreciate you, dude. Hope you're doing well. And played with third stringers on Thursday. He sure did. So pretty telling to me. So look, you talk about, maybe you're talking about Josh Sills. He was actually out of football for a long time because of all the things occurring. And we talked about that. He definitely is going to have to prove his worth. We've got some other guys here that bring that versatility. So I've talked about this. If they want to roll with 8, he could be an odd man out, and Tanner McKee could be that guy they keep over Josh Sills. We'll see. Maybe they think, they could get Sills on the practice squad. Trust me, I was going insane at making this. And I had it done last night, and I was like, shit. And I was like, no, you are not changing anything. And that was after the show. I had already changed the quarterback thing before the show, but I was changing things throughout the whole damn day. I told you that. And all I had to do was get that depth chart together, and they started releasing people. I'm like, son of a bitch. And I was already running late. I was like, there's no way I'm going to make this at 1. And I was like, you have to. And then they started releasing more people, and I'm like, dude, I'm trying to get this done. So I was just trying to keep you informed while making the show. But luckily, they didn't release anyone that I would have to change anything. So let's get this bad boy rolling again. Let's get into the defense here. And, we are loaded on defense here. And you can see this is one of those positions we talked about. You brought in all those guys for the end of the preseason there because you already knew who you had locked in, and you didn't really want to risk anybody else because Jomo ended up getting hurt, and that's not good. And we talked about Tuipulotu. We talked about Street. And, for me, there's those things we talk about, with vested veterans where a guy like Kentavious Street, he could not make this initial 53-man roster. And then once you place someone on IR, you just sign him right back to the team. So, and whether or not you feel you need to do that week 1 where his contract would be guaranteed, or you can do it after week 2, and then he wouldn't have that guarantee. He would only have 25% of his contract guaranteed. So, look, this is why I try to understand the numbers and all that stuff, because this stuff matters. Trust me, that's how I'm able to do this. So, I think for me, Kentavious Street will be on this roster week 1, but I do not have him here for those initial 53-man roster cuts. So, you've got 6 here, but remember what I said about Britton Covey. You could place him on IR. Once you do that, you open up a roster spot and you bring back one of those vested veterans. Now, you don't really have to keep more than 6. That seems like overkill, right? That's a lot of guys. But also keep in mind, we will be running 3-man fronts at times. So you're going to have depth here. You're going to have a good rotation, and I think you're going to use a lot of these guys. Now, I'll be real with you. Street doesn't have to be signed back. Maybe he makes it over to Tuipulotu. A lot of things could happen here, but it's so loaded at that position, and I think there's so much young talent. Once Cox is gone, it'll be Carter, Davis, and Williams. And then if you have a Jomo Tuipulotu, Street is depth, I think that's a really great thing. So we're going to see, but it's going to be very intriguing to watch what the Eagles do there. Now at edge rusher, another loaded position here, and we talked about this, 5 guys that I think are locked in for the past few weeks here. And once they restructured Barnett, that told me, look, they're keeping him around. He's the 5th edge rusher. Yeah. So he's going to see very limited snaps. Hopefully he comes in, produces, doesn't make stupid mistakes in the limited time he's out there. Now the question was, who the hell are we going to keep beyond that? Because look, we use a rotation. Now, last year on one side, you've got Son Reddick, and you had Patrick and Kyron Johnson behind him, but now you've added Nolan Smith behind him. On the other side, you've got Sweat with Graham and Barnett. That's pretty deep. So I don't know that you necessarily have to, but hear me out on this one. So I've got 7 here, and I'm going to tell you why. So Kyron Johnson, to me, I just feel like this could be one definitely that gets cut. But I'm being, I'm kind of sticking to my guns with who I like here, and love this kid's, high end 4.3 speed. He's an edge rusher that can play off ball. He did it in college. He played both positions. He's got that skill set, the speed, athleticism that we want there. So really excited about his future. I'm not so sure we want to risk putting him on waivers when he could have a very bright future here, helping us as depth for both edge rusher and off ball linebacker. Patrick Johnson, not only do I like him as depth, but he is a great special teamer, and we need that special teams unit to step it up here. So I've got 7, but my thought process is Kyron Johnson just had an appendectomy. So I'm putting his ass right on IR, and whether or not, that's for the quick list where he's only out for 4 games or 6, or if he's out for the entire season, whatever you're doing to stash him, that is the name in the game here. I feel that Kyron Johnson could definitely be one of those stashes, and yeah, the 7 seems like a lot. But again, remember, I'm talking about placing one of them on IR. And that, to me, having 3 on each side, that's good depth there. Now, at linebacker, here's another intriguing one. And you've got a couple vested veterans here in Nicholas Morrow and Zach Cunningham, who both could be cut and brought back after the cutdown period. And I do believe one of them is going to have that happen. So the initial roster, I think we ride with 3 here. And the reason I'm saying this is because remember what I just said about Kyron Johnson. So when you place him on IR, what I'm doing is I'm bringing back Nicholas Morrow. So it could be Morrow's cut, maybe Zach Cunningham is cut. Either one, it doesn't matter. I think Cunningham could be the starter. Hell, Morrow could even be the starter. So it doesn't really matter to me which veteran you want to cut, as long as you're just bringing them right back. And then we've got that 4th linebacker as depth there. And, it's an intriguing position. And I've talked about this. Nolan Smith, Kyron Johnson can both play a little off-ball linebacker. They can provide you depth there. So you don't have to be too deep. So you don't necessarily have to bring back Morrow, but that's just my thought process. Now into the secondary. Oh, my God. Every effing position loaded here. So you see here, I think that those top 5 guys are pretty clear. Ringo, we drafted in the 4th round for a reason, traded up for him. Josh Jobe, he's got a bright future here. So those guys are locked in for me. The question has been, who the hell wants to make it beside them? And will the Eagles keep more? Jesus, I can't talk. Will the Eagles keep more than 6, 7? Will they keep 8? So many questions going on here. And these young men, Goodrich, Garner, and Ricks, Goodrich, the undrafted kid last year, Garner and Ricks this year, they have all been balling out. So I have been torn this entire effing offseason here. And, for these guys, it was a good thing for them, but you never want to see anybody hurt. It's very unfortunate. But, Zach McPherson going down, that opened the door up there. And Mario Goodrich can play nickel. Mekhi Gardner can play some nickel, can play outside. He can play safety. Ricks can do the same. So, and a lot of talent from those young men. So do you risk putting them on the waiver wire? And for this whole damn offseason, I've been skeptical of putting anybody else on here. But I found a way, man. I found a way with all of these IR moves and all the things we're doing. So hear me out. So 8 cornerbacks. I know what you're thinking. Man, you're smoking a lot of that good stuff today. But I'll be real with you. Again, talking about the IR. So Mario Goodrich, he was banged up. Did not play in the last preseason game. Is that another phantom injury that Howie has created? Will he do that? In my opinion, I definitely think he could. So what you would do, put Mario Goodrich on IR, and now you've got 7 cornerbacks. I know that seems like overkill, but to me, man, you have got some young corners with very bright futures, and one of the most important positions here that these kids could be starters down the road for us. So, and just like with Tanner McKee, he could provide somebody with, starting capability. You could definitely try to trade him down the road. But in the end, man, I actually went with these corners over Tanner McKee. I really just feel that it's so pivotal for them to be learning under Darius Slay, James Bradbury, Avonte Maddox. Now, if you could get them on the practice squad, that's ideal. You don't want to have to keep this many. And again, I'm placing one of them on IR, so 7. But even 7, that's a lot, dude. I would ride with 6 if I could, but telling you, I like these kids so much. It was just hard for me. And this will definitely be wrong, I'm sure, but I won't have it. So I just made it like that. Now at safety, talked about this over and over again. I think, clearly City Brown is the future with Reed Blankenship. Terrell Edmonds is going to be here, but who is going to be the other veteran? And I think Justin Evans, Kayvon Wallace, both trying to show what they've got. But you saw Kayvon playing late into the preseason. Really, and when he got those first team reps, I talked about it. People were, I knew he was going to be the starter. And it's like, that's not what they're doing. What they're doing is giving him a chance to show everything. Like, okay, you're out here with the ones, are you good or not? So he played a lot of preseason because they wanted to see what he's got. But what I did at this position, well, we've got the guy on IR I just talked about. So if you're following along with that count, I'm only riding with 3 here. And it's those 3 that I have as locks. But you got to hear me out. So talking about those vested veterans, Justin Evans is one of those vested veterans. So for me, if you place Goodrich on IR, that opens up a spot, and then I'm adding Justin Evans. So in the end, I want 4, but I'm just trying to be smart about it, cutting him off that initial 53 and bringing him back after I've placed someone on IR. Now, special teams, I guess Aaron Sipos is leading the way, and I told you guys last night, I literally almost cut this dude and kept 2 specialists and just was like, screw it. I'm going to add Tanner McKee in, and then we're going to add, a punter throughout the process. But, dude, they like him holding for Elliott. I get it. But, Whew, I would really rethink that. Maybe bring someone to the practice squad, try to see what they've got here, because, that's a little concerning there. But I guess when you've got Super Bowl aspirations, those are the things you're looking at, the little things, the details. And we're stacked everywhere else, but it is concerning because we saw what happened in that Super Bowl. So, look, that's it, man. Now let me show you the count of all those things that were going on. Let me know how you feel. Who would you keep cut? Whatever the hell is on your mind, offense, defense, regardless. But 2 QBs, 4 running backs, 5 wide receivers. Now, again, remember this. I have a lot of these moves happening, so I'm going to show you here, again, what I talked about throughout that. I'm going to show you what would happen here. So you see the position count. You saw my depth chart. So I had 27 defensive players, 23 on offense, and it could be even more on defense. So let's take a gander now at those IR moves, the roster moves that I was mentioning there. So I talked about 3 guys being placed on IR, and then I talked about 3 guys that were vested veterans because they've played over 4 seasons. You can bring them back. They don't have to go through the waiver process. So let's talk about those moves that I was just showing you. So just to recap, Britton Covey going on IR. You've got Mario Goodrich and Kyron Johnson. If you do those 3 moves, you sign Justin Evans, Nicholas Morrow, Kentavious Street right back onto the roster. You got yourself a 4th safety, a 4th linebacker, and a 7th interior D lineman. And again, you're going into these things. A lot of people, you look at it and it's like, oh, this is how it has to be. The initial 53 is not going to be the week 1 roster. You know what I mean? They, just like last year, they changed a bunch of stuff. And then remember, you can elevate 2 guys on game day. So 2 people from that practice squad will be brought up if they want, maybe 1. Last year it was Covey. He finally, after getting activated a couple times, made it to the active roster. So, hey, if these guys don't make it initially, it's not to say that they can't. So, we'll take a look at this practice squad here in a second. Let me jump over to these comments. They pop up any day now. All right, so let's go. We're over here. This is where you shine, bro. Hey, man, I really appreciate that. And, I'm trying to shine every damn video. I try to give you guys whatever is on, if you want to talk about the contract stuff, you want to talk about the draft. I mean, I take pride, in being the one person out here that actually gets stuff right, that doesn't just follow clickbait. I really do. I pride myself on being able to bring you guys, I love that you guys come here like, I knew I could come here. Like, that means the world to me. I'm not going to lie to you. I have real sources that will tell me stuff. So I'm just here to try to be the best I can possibly be and hope that you guys enjoy it. So I appreciate that, my man. And anything I hear, proof check here. No doubt, my man. Glad you kept Marlon. Yo, man, I really like Marlon Teen. He was doing great last year before he got hurt, and he's been doing really good this offseason. So not so sure they want to give up on him yet, but hey, we'll see. Kentavious Street looked good too, but him being a vested veteran, place him on IR, and you could bring him back if you wanted 7. I don't know. And maybe Ojomo gets placed on IR, with that. He had a concussion. I don't know if it was like the neck or – well, it was neck and something involved, but the other guy got listed with a neck injury. He didn't. So I don't know, man. We're going to find out his timetable and hope that Ojomo is all right. Speed is what we need. Speed. No, we definitely don't need Devin Allen on here. Kyron, yeah, exactly, man. You got to look at all that stuff. A lot of these guys are really good at special teams. So big concern here for this team last year. Yo, my man, Bad Babylon. Appreciate you tuning in, dude. Sad for any of them. And that's what I mean. And they're not going to cut Ringo. That's one that's not even a question. But Ricks, Garner, Goodrich, one of them could definitely, 2 of them could get cut. And, I'm not, against it, but I really like them. So, hey, we'll see what they choose to do. But I was not getting rid of them. Like what I'm smoking. Let's go, my man. Appreciate you. And, that's what I try to do. When I built these relationships with the people that, work for the Eagles and do all this stuff, it's like, I'm doing that for you guys too. Like, it's not just me. Like, I love this shit. There's stuff I wish I could tell you. And some of you have my phone number. We text and I'll give you a little something and tell you, I will never tell you anything again if you tell anyone. But, I get that news early, James Bradbury, Dominic too, all these moves. And I break them down before they even become almost news. So just doing what I can out here, trying to look at it from, that guy's point of view. So, hey, man, join me in this circle and just make sure you pass it to the left. Let's go, my man. Sounds like I got a touchdown, 70 part. Yeah, he definitely did good in preseason, but the Eagles don't get caught up like the media and fans do with preseason stuff. So, Devin Allen hadn't, returned to kick in over 10 years. And then you talk about never punt returning. So, look, a great project and love his speed, love what he's able to do. So I'm very hopeful he gets on this practice squad. Maybe you elevate him for a game or two. But I've got some other ideas if you don't at the return position. So let's take a look at this practice squad here. And, for me, a lot of these guys could definitely go claimed by somebody else if they get cut. We could definitely, as I've said, sign some random ass dudes from other teams, and that will happen. But I'm just sticking with what we had here, who I'd like to see there. So got Tanner McKee, Trey Sermon, Devin Allen, Greg Ward, Tyree Jackson, Toth Opeta, and Kelly. So you've got, Tanner McKee, hopefully passing through waivers, making it on the squad. Trey Sermon, not sure that he does. Devin Allen, the same. Greg Ward, Tyree Jackson. Then the offensive line, we got Toth, who can play every damn position. Then you've got Opeta, who can play guard, and Kelly at tackle. Defense, I'm really intrigued by Robert Cooper. And I think that, a real nose tackle who's got some versatility, athleticism, and I like him, man. And Marvin Wilson, we talked about him. I'm a fan of his the last couple of years on this team. And I think, he'd be a good practice squad piece to have. Teron Jackson, he did great. He could definitely go claimed. And then Tyreek Maddox-Williams, man. Talk about what a great game he had. His one preseason game, only a couple days practice. Philly native. So love the kid. Excited for him. And look, I'd hope to see him on the practice squad. We definitely want some linebackers there. And if we don't keep Quentin Bell, I think, Ben Van Sumeren, that athleticism, and, people will tell you, oh my God, he's the best linebacker we have. He led the team in tackles. Yes. In preseason, he did, because that's when the backups play against the other backups. So, he played most of the snaps. So, yeah. Josiah Scott, cornerback. A lot of people don't like him, but the Eagles do. His versatility, and with that loaded room, he could definitely just be replaced by one of those other guys if they get cut. Then at safety, I've got McCollum, and then Kayvon Wallace there. So maybe Kayvon beats out Justin Evans. I'm not sure, but I think I'd go the vested veteran route, cut them initially, place them on IR, and then I'm bringing Justin Evans back. He's got starting experience. And look, it's no knock on Kayvon. I thought he did great at the end of last year. Thought he was doing well in camp, but I like those other guys a little bit more. Now, I just showed you all that stuff. We talked about the IR, the practice squad, all that great stuff. But now what I'm going to show you is my depth chart for week one. So it's going to include the people that, have all the, the IR moves, the cut, all that stuff I just talked about. You're going to now see it in the depth chart. Yo, my man Drew in here. Let's go. We just went through and got through almost everything here. My man went through the 53, talked about the roster moves, all that stuff. So I'll give you a fastest recap I possibly ever can by showing you this positional count here. And 23 on offense, 27 on defense, dude. It was quite loaded on the D there, but I know you always are rewatching stuff, so if you check it out, let me know how you feel about it. But you're here now. That's what matters. I talked about throughout that, though, why I had so many at corner, at edge rusher, wide receiver. I think I'm placing those three guys on IR. Now, I cut those three, but I'm re-signing them right after those guys get placed on IR. That's a Howie move if I've ever seen one. Now, practice squad, I was just talking about. Don't know if you just saw it, but there it is for you, my man. Hope you're having a great weekend. Hope all is well. We're going to say a little prayer here for my ankle because I'm getting stuff done today, man. I can't wait for this ankle to heal, dude. I can't. I don't want to jack it up even more. And bro, I'm about to cut my hair if this stupid little effing, ever since I've been back on the beach, I've got this blonde little flare that Drew wanted to point out. Now won't go away. Old White Williams here. And then this one, it just won't stay in a ponytail. And it's getting cold, and now I want to cut my hair, of course. Yeah, jackass. So let's get into this now. Before we do, though, remember, if you're wondering where some of these people are, the Eagles already have an IR list. 2 wide receivers there with Cleveland and Rambo, Noah Ellis, Bradley, and McPherson. Now, I can see Rambo being, waived with an injury settlement, but these other guys, they could stick around for next year, but just want you to keep that in mind. Now, I didn't make this fancy or anything and change the lines. I kept them empty just because I'm sure a lot of these things are going to change and I'm going to need to change things. But all right, so let me explain this. If you've been watching, everyone in green is new to the roster this season. And now I've got the little red stars there. You see the asterisks there on each side of Britton Covey? So if you see that, which you'll see on the defensive page, that means I'm placing them on IR. So they're not actually going to be there week one. I don't know. Maybe he, is fine. But Maybe they try to stash him. Either way, I've got him placed there. You can see the rest of the guys, this is pretty much what we've talked about all offseason. Like this, there's no real surprises here. So glad to see, my roster, my 53 is still holding up with the first initial cuts, but I'm sure this thing will get broken here within the next couple hours. So we'll see. We'll keep up to date with all of the cuts. But I will continue to keep you updated on all social media platforms. Make sure you're subscribed, and you will get all of the Eagles news you'll ever need. Now, on the defensive side of the ball, the red asterisks mean you're going on IR. The yellow ones mean that you're getting signed back after. So you see Kentavious Street, Nicholas Morrow, and Justin Evans added in here because I don't have them on that initial 53, but I do have them as a part of this defense week 1. So you can see the edge rushers. I think that's some great depth. Sweat, Graham, and Barnett. Then on the other side, Reddick, Smith, Johnson. Oh, yeah. You can talk about Carter, Davis, Williams, and Cox, that 4-man rotation. Oh, my Lord. Then you've got, obviously, Tuipulotu, Ojomo, and then maybe Street back. Dean, Cunningham, Ellis, bring back Morrow. I'm good there. Secondary, infatuated with those young corners. Love this room. We've got the best trio in the game, and we've got probably the best, depth pieces in the game. So they're going to get to learn from these studs, and I'm pretty excited about that. And then safety. Look, I think Terrell Edmonds, week 1, could definitely come on the field as starter, but Sidney Brown will get his snaps as the third safety. He will go out and beat some ass, and I really cannot wait for that. But regardless, all 3 safeties will get some, and I think Evans could be brought back as that 4th, but only time will tell. Now, the special teamers, so Sipos is there, no competition, punch me in the face. Now, I took out Britton Covey, and I took out Boston Scott. So Covey, thinking he goes on IR. If not, you can put him at punt returner. But here's the thing for me. You're looking at, a thing where Olamide Zaccheaus has done this before. So I think Olamide could step right in, be the punt returner, and I'm fine with that. And you don't need Britton Covey right away. He doesn't take up a roster spot, and he doesn't go anywhere. And he was one of the better punt returners last year. So I think that, obviously anybody who watched football and understands it knows that Covey is one of the better guys in the league. So you don't want to lose that, but again, you could stash him. So I'm going with Olamide there. And Boston, sit on down, man. And I appreciate you, love you, but I want Rashad Penny back there. And I've said it since the moment we've signed him. Literally, you can go to that video and I talk about his 7 kick return touchdowns at San Diego State. Has not done it in the NFL, but why not here where he will be the 3rd running back? I think it's a no-brainer to me. I would be excited with those 2 new additions as the returners. And then you've got some other guys you could dabble in there if you wanted. But that's it, ladies and gentlemen. That was my projected 53-man roster with all of the things included, the IR, the practice squad, the depth chart, everything your little ass needed to know. So we're going to get through this day with all of the moves they're going to continue to make. Tuesday at 4 has to be you have to be done by then. So we'll see, man. And, we are definitely loaded on the D. Let's be real here. So that's what she said. Now, I appreciate you, Drew. I've got a long day ahead. And, again, I'm going to say a little prayer here for my ankle because it's feeling a little rusty today. And I'm about to pick this thing up, and I'm going to try to move him out of here by myself. Then I got to move the couches downstairs and the TV stand. Got to build a few things. And this has all just been piling up for 2 weeks now that my ankle's been short. Because, of course, it's all things. Now, I've done everything I possibly can with my hands. But, God, why? But, dude, we gotta keep pushing through. And I appreciate your friendship and always helping me see that, even when there's times where I feel like I just want to push myself out the window. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope you all enjoyed that. I'm all in on that one, man. I'm not going to change my mind there, and I hope the Eagles, throw a little surprise there and have him out there. But, hey, we'll see what they do. But I would love to hear your thoughts on this, whether you're watching it now, watching it later. And if I'm done and you want to come back and keep commenting and keep talking about this, I'm always down to talk some birds. And exciting times right now because this cut-down period going to be real tricky to see who actually makes this squad. But I'd love to hear who you agree with, who you disagree with. Are you thinking Tanner McKee should start over Hurts? You think Devin Allen's the next, slot receiver? Whatever, the media is telling people, hey, whatever your thoughts are, I'd love to hear what's going on. I've seen the chaos out there. I've seen, everybody's 53-man roster is ruined because Tyrese Robinson, Ian Book, Dan Arnold, and Tyree Jackson were released. What are we doing here, folks? If that ruined your 53, maybe just go back to baking or something. I don't know. But yo, man, you have yourself a great day. I hope you all have yourselves a great weekend. Tomorrow, I've got a lot planned. I do have a show planned, but I think it might be a little bit later. So just stay tuned. If you guys are subscribed down below, you know I will not only post when the show will be, but like I'll make the community post. So you'll get a post, a video post, all that stuff. You'll know when it is. You follow me on any of these platforms down here. I always post it there too. So you'll always know, no excuses for when I am going live. If you have notifications on for all these platforms, you will always know when I'm going live. So I appreciate each and every one of you taking the time today. Truly hope you're having a great weekend. It is effing beautiful out there. So, of course, I've got to do ass loads of work inside today. And then tomorrow it's probably going to be blazing hot when I go mow. So, can't wait. But have yourselves a great weekend. I'll keep you up to date with all of these cut downs. And, again, tomorrow I'll be back and we'll talk about all the moves that are made and some things that are going on, all that stuff. But if you need me until then, feel free to reach out. You know, whether it's about birds, anything else, I'm always here for you. Truly can't thank you enough for always being here for me. You guys are too awesome. You're way too kind with your kind words, always chiming in with how you wait for me to say stuff. That's awesome, man. I'm glad you hold my opinion in that regard. So we shall see. What do we have instead of Ian? What do you mean? Hurts, Mariota, and McKee? Or you asked about? I don't know what you're asking about. Thank you, Jimmy. Best of luck. We said, yo, appreciate you, my dude. If any of you guys missed all that, 40 minutes worth of work, I just put in, the hours upon hours of work to get it ready. But if you missed any of it, you can always go back, see our quarterbacks, running backs, receivers, tight ends, offensive line, defensive line, linebackers, cornerback, safety. You can see everything that I literally just went over right here. And as I always say, if you rewatch it, feel free to comment down below. I want to talk to you. I want to hear your thoughts on these birds. I want you to be just as excited as I am. I want you to be repeating the Super Bowl prediction, the dynasty prediction, and I will get everyone there. I promise you. I have not let up, and I'm going to keep rolling, man. So I hope you all have yourselves a great day. I really got to get going here. And yo, Tiffany, appreciate you tuned in. I'm just getting head out. If you're watching it, please comment down below. Would love to hear your thoughts. Same for you, my man, Tyree. Appreciate you tuning in here. About to roll out, though. Have yourselves a great weekend. Again, reach out if you need me. Oh, yeah. And this ankle, it's got about 5 minutes to heal because I got shit to do. So have a good one, guys. Have a great Saturday. Stay safe out there. But until next time, I am Jimmy Smith, and this is On the Road to Victory. You all stay safe out there. And as always, say it with me now. Go Birds!